All right, happy Wednesday night, everybody. Glad you guys are out there. We are going to have a fun show tonight. This is one you're going to want to share with your friends, invite them in. Let's have some good conversation. It's Tech Football Season Win Total Prediction Night. I give you mine, you give me yours. All coming from the Arctic Air Studios on a day where we have set a new record in Lubbock. I think 105 is what it got up to. Yay! Busting records from the Dust Bowl days of the 1930s. As it should be. We're always high achievers around Raiderland. So we got that going on. Overrated, underrated, rated right Wednesday tonight. Yesterday we looked at hole-in-the-wall Mexican food restaurants. Today let's go national chains and give me the chain restaurants that are actually good, bad, or indifferent. Yeah, they're not all bad. Or, it's real cool to be like anti-chain restaurant, man. Only eat it local. You know what? Some of the chains are pretty damn good. So over, under, rated right on that. And then let's see, you can give us advice for dropping a kid off at school, taking the kid tomorrow to West Texas State, dropping him off, pat him on the ass. Good luck. Hope you do well. All that tonight from the Arctic Air Studios, where if your air is not Arctic, you need to call the bear. Callthebear.com, and they'll come a running. All right. So those of you who are just getting in right now, the early arrivals, you know what to do, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, or X, Twitter. Alan already in here on our YouTube people. Share this, hit the little share function, invite your friends in, and then let us know the audio is good. Let's do it in 3, in 2. Good evening, West Texans, all you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan Hyatt, TheRaiderland.com. Start your day there every day. You could have been there this morning. You had a head start on our topic on a overrated, underrated, rated right Wednesday, national chain restaurants, and you knew a little bit what we were going to do on the season prediction win total. But the main thing, you went there for the hot links, man. Every morning, serve them up fresh, hot, amazing, cool stuff from around the internets that we think we like, that you'll probably like, and it saves you time having to go everywhere, all over God's creation. All you got to do is just jump in there every morning and go, all right, this is the cool stuff. So check it out at TheRaiderland.com and then share it with your friends. We're brought to you tonight by McAlpin Chiropractic. That's right, the official chiropractor of Texas Tech. And, well, I shouldn't say Texas Tech. I should say Raiderland. Now, he's worked with high-level Texas Tech athletes for years, decades, in fact, the highest. And he's just a good West Texas dude. So, if your back's out of whack, don't call a quack, call Kevin Mack. Oh, wait, I can't say that, but I did. Also by the Shropshire Agency. Shropshire Insurance, darn near 70 years strong in West Texas, independent like you are. They are ready to go to work for you. They're plugged into the community like nobody else. Check out, they got a great Facebook page. So check them out. Tell Jeff we said hey. And I don't know, maybe you're running the insurance for a business or a church or something like that. Doesn't matter. They can help you out. Give them a holler. All the Western wear you see, including this fine shirt tonight. I like this one. I'm a big Paisley Planarium kind of guy. Food City, one money, saving a mile outside the West Loop on 19th Street. Back to school special still going on. I think they still have some deep discounts on some of their summer line that now's the time you buy it going into the fall. All right. Oh, yeah, United Supermarkets, Market Street. Stopped there on the way home today. Had a list. Got the list. Looks like we're going to have some sort of, it's like a little pasta carbonara tonight, maybe. I think that's my son's, if not his favorite dish that my wife makes. It looked like that was what I was picking up tonight. They're waiting for you. They support Texas Tech. In fact, part of the founders, the original founders group that Texas Tech announced this week includes United Supermarkets. Craig says the talking box is on Facebook. I agree. All right, let's get to it. Let's do it. It is the night where you give us your season prediction win total for Joey McGuire's Texas Tech Red Raiders. You look at the schedule. You look at this team coming back. You look what they have, the deficiencies, the high-quality aspect, the high-level nature that they have in certain positions. Then you look around the rest of the league, and you look at the schedule, and that's the biggest thing anymore in college football. If you're looking at win totals for any team, you look, obviously, at who they are, right? How good is this team? But then you look and go, Who are they playing? Because not everybody plays everybody anymore in a conference. And that is massive now when you go to look at win totals. And this year, Texas Tech is absolutely getting kissed when you talk about who they're playing and who they're not playing, and who the best teams allegedly in the Big 12 are going to be, and who they aren't. Massive opportunity for Texas Tech right off the bat based on the schedule. Allen is on YouTube and probably other things. 8-4. Need to see more from the program to give a better prediction. I understand that. And I totally get where you're coming from, that until they've done it, it's hard for you to say they should do this. I got burned on that last year. I looked at a team last year. I bought into the idea that the offensive line would be, if not fundamentally better, talent-wise better. It was not. In fact, it may have regressed. And obviously the puke up there in Laramie didn't help anything. So when somebody like Allen says, hey, maybe I really think this could win 9 games, they go 8 on the win total. Chris is on Facebook. 8 wins, Mendoza line for me. That's really harsh to say that's a Mendoza line. Mario Mendoza, a really incredibly average baseball player in Major League Baseball in the 1970s, hit about 206, 212. I can't remember what the exact average was for the career. If you were below the Mendoza line, you were a really bad hitter. Anymore in Major League Baseball, that's a starter on almost every team. But saying that 8 wins is Mendoza, I think is a little bit harsh. I would say 7 is Mendoza, because 7 is bowl game, 7 is bowl eligibility, 7 is winning record. That for Texas Tech, if you do a Mendoza line, to me, it's 7. Because Mendoza is bottom level, right? Not like okay, not anything else. Now, if you think 8 is Mendoza for Tech, you just hadn't been paying attention a lot over the last several decades. CJ leaning towards 3 road wins, 9-3 total. Keeping healthy is key, if not 6-6. Yeah, I mean, we just described every team in college football in the Big 12 for the most part. If you're not healthy, which is why I always do a plus or minus bracketing on my win totals, that I say, this team is probably a 7-win team. And if everything goes great, they're 8. If everything goes bad, they're 6 or lower. So it's just, yeah, we know going in anymore, and certainly at Texas Tech, where you hadn't had, what is it? Everybody say it together. You've not had a quarterback start every game since Patrick Mahomes. We get that. Road wins are key for this team if they want to elevate. Much talked about. Undefeated Big 12 national champions there. He said it a little early in the day to be on the crack pipe there, Hunter, but whatever works for you. Overrated, underrated, and rated right. We do this every Wednesday. We give you a topic. Tonight, I want you to rate national chain restaurants. We did hole-in-the-wall Mexican food places yesterday, local for the most part. Now, tonight, I want you to do the chain restaurants. And a lot of them, hey, there's a reason they're chain restaurants. They're pretty good. Some of them are just eh. And then some of them, I don't get how they stay in business. I'll give you one that I think is underrated. It's Texas Roadhouse. No matter where you go, no matter where I've been around the country, go to a Texas Roadhouse steakhouse. The steaks are prepared just fine. Good meat. Sides are excellent. Service good. Cold beer. The sides, by the way, highly underrated. But I look at a chain like Texas Roadhouse that is from, no, hold on a second. Got to turn this down. That I look at a chain like Texas Roadhouse and go, you guys are underrated. Missed one earlier. Jacob, hold on. Where we go there? Never bought into Shocker O-line last year. We have to Schedule watch. I don't know what schedule watch means. Schedule watch could be interesting. So schedule watch. Jacob wants us to schedule watch. Could be interesting. So get in your national chain restaurants, the overrated, the underrated, the rated right on that. Texas Tech football win prediction night. I'll give you mine as we go through tonight. It's obviously it boils down to your commitment. What do you believe to be true about the team? So we start off on the outside first. And do we believe that this is a schedule that is eminently favorable early on? Absolutely. Texas Tech should be 5-0. You beat ACU, right? North Texas. Beat those people. Washington State. You've got to go on the road and beat Washington State. I'm sorry, if you can't go on the road and beat Washington State, you're no better than you were last year when you couldn't go on the road and beat Wyoming. And Wyoming probably last year a better team than Washington State is this year, all things being equal. And they're never equal. We just like saying that, all things being equal. It's what you say when you really have no more further detailed analysis, and you just say, all things being equal. You got to beat North Texas, right? You got to beat Arizona State. If you're any good, you got to beat them. So then you go into the Cincinnati game. Cincinnatus walked away. Was it Cincinnatus who walked away? Wanted to be just a farmer? Can't remember. And before you get to, say, maybe Arizona, what is that, October 5th? As he looks at the big calendar, you ought to, if you're who we think you are, not win any of those, not lose any of those first games. If you do, any of those losses would be alarming to me for different reasons. If you can't win on the road at Washington State, that's alarming to me for different reasons than just a normal loss. You're not going to Penn State. You're not going to Tennessee. You're not, you're going to Washington State. I don't see Utah on there, do I? Kansas State. That the teams that most people think are going to be the teams that will rule the roost a little bit. So I'll go back to the schedule real quick. Hold on, got to click off that. So really, your most interesting game could be that Oklahoma State game. If you do what you should do in the first 5, you got Arizona on the road. That's going to be not easy. Oklahoma State could be the difference between 8 and 9 wins, right? Depending on how you're playing. Are you healthy? I'm not buying the offensive line right now that it's going to be appreciably better. It might be a little bit better, but appreciably better. What does that mean? Well, can you keep Baron Morton freaking healthy? Part of that is, can we keep Baron Morton from running unnecessarily into danger? You can extend the play if you want to an extent. But in my mind, and this is where I would probably disagree completely with Zach Kittley, you cannot expose him to danger by having design run plays. No matter how great you think he can be from an explosive RPO or otherwise, there should never, in my mind, in my mentality, in my philosophy, if you want to win more than 6 or 7 games this year, you cannot expose your quarterback to danger, because after that, it's a bunch of young guys who may or may not be good and we'll never know until they get a little older. So you can't do that. Take that out of the package. Never do it. And tell him over and over, extend the play, but give yourself up. Give it up. Throw the ball out of bounds. Do whatever. Never take a hit. because as talented and as gritty as I think Baron Morton is and can be for a college football quarterback, um, he can't take those hits. And most of them can't right now. They just can't do it. So that right there tells me if Baron Morton starts all 12 games, the offensive line is at least passable. The defense. Now we haven't talked a lot about the defense. I think the defense is going to be okay, not great, but we're in a different era now in the Big 12 where you're not walking into every game going, we got to score 50 points to have a chance to win. 28-35 gives you a chance to win every game. Secondary, we'll see what the secondary looks like. I like the linebacking core. Really like the linebacking core for Texas Tech. Are you a little light up front? Maybe. Do you have a lot of guys you can rotate in? And anymore, that's the deal. That if you got 7 guys that you can rotate in constantly that can play 2-7 tech, that can move in and out a little bit, that we're building a 3-man front to a 5-man front at different times, that we're not just lining up in a suicidal 4-4 or every down a 3-4 whatever, that you're changing. You've got so many different personnel packages now in college football. It's just like NFL. It's amazing you can get them all on the field at a given time in a decent amount of time. So I'm okay with the defense to say this defense is probably about an 8-win defense. Can the offense be a 9-win defense? You guys talk me into it right now. Give me your predictions. Can Texas Tech win 9 games this year? Why or why not? I look at over-under totals, and you see 7.5 posted, 8 posted different places. Tell me why I should lean to 9 instead of 8. Because you know what? You don't win 9 games around here very often, regular season. Doesn't happen very often. Tell me why I should believe that this year or why I shouldn't. We also tonight get your thoughts. Overrated, underrated, overrated, underrated, rated right, overrated, underrated. National chain restaurants. How is I'm going to get in trouble? No, I don't care. I drive by Olive Garden maybe once a week, and the parking lot in Lubbock is full. That's all I'm going to say. Goodbye. All the time. And the parking lot is full. It's great. How does that happen? I shouldn't say anything. Shouldn't say it that way. Didn't mean it bad, but there are some places that I just go, how do you do this? There's another one that I haven't been to in years that I don't have anything against. And if I were going to do overrated, underrated, rated right on them, I'd probably say rated right. But when was the last time any of y'all went to Chili's? Right? Got started in Dallas years ago. When was the last time anybody went to Chili's? Yet again, you still see people at Chili's. Up to you. You tell us. And then the breaking news, dropping off our son at a WT tomorrow. So probably no daily broadcast tomorrow. I'll leave it open if we get back at a decent hour and everything else. We got stuff to talk about, but probably not. So if you have any sort of advice, for dropping somebody out, I mean, if it were me, bus ticket. Here you go. No, I'm just kidding. But if you guys have done that here recently, if you've gone through that with your own family, my wife's doing really good now. She's dived into the project here over the last 48 hours or so of just the staging, just the actual invasion of setting up everything to get ready to go, to get ready to put it in the trucks, roll in there, get it into the room, make it happen. That we're in that mode right now, I think. So that's good. That's a process. But everybody's just a little bit emotional, I think. It's an interesting time to go through. And for us, only son. So everything we do is a first and last. And I think if you're not a parents of a one child family, it's maybe a little hard to understand that you guys who have like two and three kids, screw up one, you go, we'll get it right on the next one, you know, yeah, we'll do that. We're like, oh God, I only got one chance to get this thing right, so we're trying to get it right. I've given him all the best advice I can give him, much of which I can't talk about here on the program, and that's okay. So now we have all of that, and I guess it's time for me to give my win total, and I have struggled for the last week, and my better angels, keeping me from doing certain things. This team, given the schedule, given the talent, with guys like Brooks, with Micah Hudson, with a quarterback whom I think it can be elite in the Big 12, can be an elite college football quarterback in Baron Morton, and a defense that I think is adequate, good enough, and any more in college football, that's pretty good for the most part. That a lot of what I have looked at and looked at the schedule and looked at the teams and said, this is a team that can win 9 games. I ain't going to pick them to win 9 games. I'll go 8-4. Two biggest reasons. One, I think is legit. The other one is you can criticize me all you want. The first one is I'm not buying the offensive line yet. Prove me wrong. You change offensive line coaches. Obviously, you change some philosophy. You've been moving guys around all August. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. They'll settle in. I'm not buying the offensive line is appreciably better than a year ago. So that's my biggest concern. Just on the field, X's and O's. That if that ain't right, then a lot of things won't be right. The other thing, and this is where you can criticize me fairly or unfairly, until a program really breaks through, I'm not going to say you're going to break through to 9 wins. You just don't win 9 games around here on a regular basis, regular season. 10, 11, or 12 games. It doesn't matter how many games are on the schedule. The Texas Tech is just not a program that has won 9 games and just rolled out of bed and won 9 games regular season. So I'm going with 8-4. Now, what are the 4 losses? Great question. What are the 4 losses? Who could you lose to? Well, until you do it, one of the teams you can lose to is absolutely Washington State on the road because you lost to Wyoming last year. Prove me wrong. Cincinnati? I don't know. You're at home. I'd like to think that you can beat Arizona State and Cincinnati at home. Arizona on the road? Again, on the road. Right? TCU. Same deal. Iowa State. What's the temperature going to be on November 2nd? You'll beat the hell out of Colorado and whoever the interim coach is, taking over for Deion Sanders on November 9th. Oklahoma State, we mentioned that on the road. Again, that's a huge swing game that I think if you go between 8 and 9, that you've won that game. And then West Virginia there on the 30th. So I go 8 wins this year. I'd love to pick 9. I think they have the talent to win 9. But until they do it, I'm not going to pick it. I'm not going to get burned again. I did it last year. I'm not going to get burned again. We're not going to do it. All right, that's my thoughts. Your thoughts right now. Jump in, whether you're on Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube. Communications brought to you by. Chat line brought to you by. All that stuff brought to you by United Supermarkets and Market Street. And if you got your win total prediction, we want to hear that. If you have restaurants, chain that you do not prefer, rated, overrated, underrated, we want to hear from you there. And then you can give us your, it's so hot that blank, blank, blank. I'm going to have a little fun with that. It's so, so hot. Saw a coyote chasing a jackrabbit. They were both walking. Yay, thank you very much. Pretty good. Thought that was funny. You know, thought that was pretty good. We did not hear from David Collier tonight. Kind of surprises me. And kind of wondering if we're having problems with a little bit of the talk back, chat back nature of the broadcast tonight. So if we are, and you've tried to get in and I'm not seeing it, every now and then that happens. I'm going to blame the temperature. So go ahead and post your win predictions on our website, theraiderland.com, in the comments section when I post this here in a few minutes. You can do it on Facebook, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland. You can do it on Twitter at Ryan Hyatt Media. But if we're not, got a feeling, I can tell that we're probably not getting the two-way communication that we normally do tonight. That's the way it goes. Now, tomorrow again, probably not with you guys on a daily broadcast. Could happen. We will definitely be back on Friday. And we'll probably continue this discussion on the win total on Friday and kick it into the weekend that way. You guys are the best. I want you to do a few things for me tonight. Like I said, if you couldn't get in tonight, get your win total posted on the website, theraiderland.com. I want you to share this on Twitter at Ryan Hyatt Media. All right. Share it on Facebook. Share it on YouTube. Wherever it may be. And if you can do that, that'd be spectacular. Be awesome for everybody. All right. Try to stay cool. It's brutally hot out there. Not a fun day for anybody. And we will see you tomorrow in some form or fashion at theraiderland.com.